And that's why we need to take care of our education system, because we need more people like that coming out of our education system. So our next speaker is going to talk about the Constitution. You know, in the 4th century A.D., St. Augustine said, "In the absence of justice, what is sovereignty but organized slavery?" And that is so true. And 14 centuries later, a man by name of Jonathan Swift, who wrote Gulliver's Travels, said, "Government without the consent of the governed is the very definition of slavery." The reason we have a constitution is our founding fathers knew that they needed a document not to tell us what rights we have, but what the government's not allowed to do to us. Our rights are God-given. They are the natural laws. They are God-given. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. So it angers me greatly when the people in Washington just don't either understand the Constitution, haven't ever read it, or just don't care. Either way, it just drives me crazy. So we're going to have Rich Costabile come up. He's a small local business owner who's going to give us a little plain talk. Rich, come on up.
Thank you. Thank you all. First, I want to thank everybody for coming out, and I want to also point out that there is water over there, and we do have a donation box set up over there for maybe the future stuff that we try to do. So please visit both areas, and also please try to sign up and get involved in something, because signing up for something is better than nothing. And to start off, I want to just take 1 minute for a moment of silence for yesterday, please.
Louder.
Oh, sorry. I'd just like to take a moment of silence for yesterday, 9/11, for all the brave people that are not only died that day, but for all the future Americans that have been fighting a war against terrorism to give us the right to sit here today and express our views.
Jumping the gun.
Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about. I want to talk a lot about a lot of stuff, but I got this topic, so I'll try to stay with this one for a little while anyway. We're going to talk about a little bit about the Constitution of the United States. It's one of the 3 documents that are really great. You can find them on the internet, read them. The Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution of the United States. Few of us probably know that the Constitution was the Continental Congress adopted the Articles of the Federation and considered and voted on, basically started to set that up on November the 15th, 1977. The states didn't ratify the Constitution of the United States until March 1st, 1781, 4 years later. Does that sound like stuff that gets done today? Like rush and push stuff through bills and not even read them? I mean, our forefathers really took the time to really figure out what they wanted to put down in some of these documents to give us the rights, not only then, but for future. And if it wasn't for some of those rights, we would not be sitting here today. We'd all be in a whole different kind of a situation. Now, I also want to say that the Constitution basically it starts off, folks, with "we the people." That means you, I, everyone. We the people, for the people. And it's a bill that's, it's an article that gives us the rights and the power and gives the states the power rather than the federal government. But what we have been used to hearing and doing is kind of like a law, a natural law, and that is people come to us and say, well, we'll take care of that for you. And we say, well, if we don't have to do it, go ahead and do it. And so what happens is that every time we do that, we give away some of our freedom that the states could have had. And pretty soon, the federal government, our government, is running ripshot over all of us and doing anything and everything they think they want to do because they're used to doing it. And by God, they can't. They work for us. We don't work for them. Now, another thing I kind of like to, I'm going to keep this short because I'm going to talk a little bit later on about some other stuff I want to talk about. But, you know, before any of this stuff happened, there was a different document that came about called the Declaration of Independence. And the way some of that came about was because people got involved. And there was we are all patriots here as far as I'm concerned. But I want to give you another name that maybe you haven't thought of before. Because for some time, before all these documents were ever kind of like put together, we were fighting a government, the kings, that decided they would do whatever they wanted to do. Sound familiar? And then the people started doing things, and they had like a kind of a group of people got together, and they said, you know what, we got to stand up and be ready to fight in case there's a war. And those people were called Minutemen. And I suggest to you that each and every one of us here today is a Minuteman, because there is a war. And I see the signs. I love the signs. Great imagination. Hands to the signs, because you people did a great job. You know, I watch this fishing boat out here, and I see the enjoyment that these people are having, throwing a line in the water, and they catch something, and that's the thrill of fishing. You never know what you're going to get hold of. Well, you know what? We just threw a line out in the water, the American people, and we caught a fish, and we didn't know what we had. And, yeah, no kidding. I'm trying to keep this clean, because he asked me to. So basically, I don't know. So basically what I'm saying is that with our involvement, the Minutemen here and across this nation today are making a difference and arriving at a different juncture in America. We will take back our country. Make no mistake about that. The people in Washington can try to say that they're going to try to ignore us, but guess what? You can't ignore 300 people in a small town that gets together to speak for their rights and across this nation. So my hat's off to you, Minutemen, and keep up the good fight.
Thanks, Rich.